49.7% ভোট। অন্যদিকে তার প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বী ডেমোক্র্যাট দলীয় জো বাইডেন পেয়েছেন 49.1।
Watch what they do, not what they say.
President Trump and Joe Biden hit the trail. At the center of this campaign, coronavirus.
The story.
The battleground blitz as we enter the final stretch of the 2020 race.
From every angle.
If you were sitting here talking to Joe Biden and President Trump, what would you want to tell them right now?
On the ground.
The wind standing these flames are expected to last another 24 hours.
And in depth.
We now have 2 vaccine trials on hold. Should people be concerned?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
To the senior senator from this state, Bob Casey, last night about why the Biden camp is feeling so positive. He said in pockets of Philadelphia, it's going 90-10 to Joe Biden. And then when you look at Allegheny County, another stronghold, they finished up their count late last night, got their final 20,000 ballots in. He said he talked to the county executive there. About 80-20 has been the split in some of the key areas that they're looking at. So when you see that next 100,000 votes coming in from Philadelphia, that's going to be key. As far as when we're going to learn, this vote count's going faster than we were expecting. And as you said, we're going to hear from the governor and the secretary of state. But she was on last night with Rachel Maddow and said she thinks we could get something close to a final count, at least a projection of a winner tonight. And Bob Casey thought the same thing. He said we could have somewhere in the mid-90s in terms of the total number reported, which may be enough for there to be a projection of a winner tonight. He thinks, Savannah, Joe Biden's going to win by as much as 100,000 votes. Most people, just looking at the numbers right now, it's still too close to call.
Yeah, Chris, real quick, I wanted to ask you, because the gap in the state right now is Trump up by about 142,000. And if there are only 100,000 left in Philly, even if Biden gets 90% of those, he's still trailing statewide. They still think there's other parts of the state that haven't counted yet that Biden can pull from?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. And let me just give you an example, because I was there for a couple of days. It was where Donald Trump did his last Pennsylvania rally, and that's Luzerne County. If you looked a week or a month ago on the counties to watch across the country, Luzerne County was it. I think we can show you some statistics, and here's why people were watching it so closely. In 2012, Barack Obama won that county by 5 percentage points. It's a lot of white, working class, non-college educated folks there. Look at the swing. No county in Pennsylvania swung more from Barack Obama to Donald Trump than Luzerne County. He won it by 20. Now, with much of the vote counted, Donald Trump is winning by 14. One of the things they were looking at is in those areas where Donald Trump did so well, how much could he close the gap? So that's the other thing that the Biden camp is looking for. They need some of those redder counties to close the gap between where Joe Biden is and where Hillary Clinton was back in 2016, Joe.
Now, let's also talk about these legal battles as these mail-in ballots continue to come in. Do you think that we'll hear more about it? Of course, this is the state where we saw Rudy Giuliani yesterday point to this disparity, that it went from 600 down to 100,000, and talk about some issues that have since proven to be not real issues. But let's talk a little bit about what we could see from these legal battles.
Tons of filings already. There was even one late last night. Pete Williams reported on it. Although in all of these cases, it doesn't seem like any of them are actually going to stop the vote count. We just heard the president tweeting, "Stop the count." That's not, for example, what this filing last night was in any way intended or could do. So there's that. But it's so interesting. I was talking to a longtime election lawyer for his observation, and he said, they're just filing suit after suit after suit. Sometimes that happens in election law. They're kind of throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. But if you look back to 2000, this was serious stuff. They had this isn't just any election. This is the presidency of the United States. James Baker was the representative for the Republicans. He was a former Treasury Secretary, a former Secretary of State. And then yesterday, what we saw was Rudy Giuliani, not an election lawyer, Eric Trump. So you can look at that contrast. And he made the point, it is, however, consistent. Donald Trump has run 2 fairly chaotic campaigns. I heard complaints from Republicans here that he wasn't focused enough on an economic issue like he was 4 years ago. Obviously, he's trying to sow chaos in the aftermath by claiming victory in places where he has not won. But the difference is, in politics, sometimes chaos can work. It has often worked for Donald Trump. Doesn't work for judges who are looking for a cogent argument. Savannah?
Chris, thank you so much for your reporting from this state that we will all be watching, hopefully for some answers today. Thank you very much.
With the presidential race still not called and key battleground states continuing to tally votes, let's get right to our election panelists to help break down